All right, we are back here at Levitt Stadium for Game 2. There was a quick intermission there, so we are running a little bit slower and a little bit behind normal, but first batter got out with a 3-1 put out, and the second one just singled into left field. We're still getting lineups and everything put in there, so we apologize for that. Rudy Perez is on the mound for the Panthers. Swing and a miss there for strike one. So the lineup for the Panthers, you're going to have Michael Johnson over at third, Enriquez at short, Colton Bennett in at second base. Normally it would be Rudy Perez, but with Perez on the mound, strike looking. And then Jose Bueno over at first base. This pitch is going to be fouled off. Keep the count at 0-2. So Scott Morton, their DH, is the one batting right now after a ground out and then a single. So one down, runner at first base. Perez throws a pickoff over to first, but he is in safely. Panthers with a come-from-behind win. In Game 1. And it looked like there was going to be a stolen base attempt. Obviously, there was a stolen base attempt. Anktil behind the catching for the Panthers, double clutches, throws to Bennett. Bennett, in the same motion as catching it, swipes the head of the runner and then just tossed it back to Enriquez because he was sure it was out, and then the umpire calls him safe. Bennett kind of shocked on that. I think the whole Panthers were. Next pitch is going to be popped up, and Ivan Perez calls that when it's hit to shallow center field. Does not advance the runner, as that's not very deep at all. But again, I think they were a little shocked that that was a stolen base credited to the base runner Hendricks Hancox Jr. Next pitch is in there for a called strike. Another pitch, strike two. As Erickson was 0 for 2 in Game 1. Pitch is low for ball one. Okay, again, Gutierrez with a phenomenal Game 1, going 7 innings, allowing 3 hits. This pitch hit back into center field. Ivan Perez is underneath that one for out number 3. So Panthers strand a runner, or have a runner stranded at second for the Chargers. And due up for the Panthers in the bottom of the first inning will be Rudy Perez, who's also pitching. Anthony Enriquez at short, Ivan Perez at center field. But again, Gutierrez, Game 1, goes a complete 7 innings, striking out 10, only allowing 3 hits, and one of those coming in the final inning. Take a quick timeout and be back with you at the bottom of first. Rudy Perez stepping into the batter's box to lead things off for the Panthers here. He was 0 for 1 in the first game, but he did have that stolen base. That's a hard hit ground ball over to the third baseman. Great grab by him, but he throws this one in the dirt. And Perez is going to make his way to second on that errant throw. Looked like the third baseman made such a quick grab on a hard hit ball that he had plenty of time to set his feet and throw over to first. I don't know if he rushed that or just made a bad throw, as that is in the dirt and then bounces out of play. So Perez advances on the error all the way to second base. And that's going to bring up Anthony Enriquez. But Perez steals third in game 1 and becomes a tying run. And then we have the go-ahead run in the bottom of that 6th inning as well. So game 2 here, he starts out pitching and getting the 3 outs in the top of the first inning, and then right away on here, the first pitch he sees, he hits hard grounder over to the third baseman. Going to reach on the error and advance all the way to second due to that error. Anthony Enriquez was 0 for 1 in game 1. Pitch is low for ball 1. Enriquez, after batting .500 on the week, is still just at .292 on the season. Looking to see if he can get over that 300 hump before the end of the season. Pitch is low and inside for ball 2. Obviously, the Chargers are worried about Perez at second, as he pretty much has a green light to steal whenever he wants. With his speed, gets a bigger jump from second to third just because of he can get more of a lead. So he's probably just as lethal stealing second to third as he is from first to second. That pitch low for ball 3. So Enriquez quickly finds himself ahead in the count. 3-0. Catcher Pitkin is going to go out and talk to Wesselman, the pitcher, on the mound for the first mound visit of the ball game. And that's going to be ball 4. So 4 straight pitches earns the base on balls for Enriquez. That's going to put runners on first and second with no outs. Ivan Perez takes ball one. Panthers do not have a hit yet this afternoon, but do have runners at first and second with no outs. Shows bunt. That pitch is low, out of the strike zone for ball two. First baseman's going to go over and talk to Wesselman. Looks like it's just the pitcher-catcher duo that's any different for the Chargers defensively, as everyone else looks like they're the same as they were in Game 1. That pitch, a called strike, as Ivan is still showing bunt. And look, Rudy was definitely taking the steal on that bunt. Looked like Enriquez was just trying to read the play. But that is going to be bunt foul to even the count at 2-2. So now Perez is going to have to hit away. And this one's going to be hit into shallow center field. Perez is going to have to hold, though, because he's not sure how deep that's going to go. So that's going to load the bases. That's the first hit of the afternoon for the Panthers. And both games, the first hit for the Panthers comes from Ivan Perez. And that's going to bring up the catcher, Garrett Anktil. Anktil getting the call in Game 2 after Bergner gets the call in Game 1. That pitch is in the dirt. Great job by Pitkin to keep that in front of him, not allowing Perez to advance home on the wild pitch. See, Wesselman's ERA is 5.19 in 26 innings on the year. Opponent's batting average is .336. He has 11 strikeouts on his record. Anktil batting .301. Fastball all outside part of the plate for called strike. And I did just notice the bus and the trooper is gone. Never figured out what happened, but both of them are gone. Ooh, off-speed pitch there. Anktil way out in front of that for strike number 2. Panthers looking to get on the board early and often here in Game 2. Let's see if Anktil can start the scoring here for the Panthers. That pitch just misses for ball 2. That one's going to be a hard hit ball just out of the reach of the diving shortstop. And that's going to be a 2 RBI single for Garrett Anktil. And Perez is going to advance all the way to third. That was pretty risky. The left fielder actually ended up bobbling that, but Perez was already rounding second on his way to third when that occurred, which is a pretty gutsy move by Perez. Maybe expecting him to throw all the way home to try and get the runner there. He thought maybe they'd just not worry about him at third. So runners at the corners, first and third, no outs, 2-run score, and that's going to bring up the first baseman, Jose Bueno. Courtesy running today for Ankdale is going to be Cody Bach. And Bach's going to get caught in a rundown. However, he's going to get picked off as the pitcher starts to run toward first. Bach is just going to keep sprinting over to second. The pitcher throws too late to the second baseman covering. The tag is too late, and at the same time, Ivan Perez from third steals home. Or I guess gets home. Probably not really stealing, as he didn't really have to work very hard. So one pitch has been thrown. It is a strike. Runners now at second base. Bueno grounds out to first base unassisted, but that allows Bach to advance over to third. So one down here in the bottom of the first inning. Panthers 3-0 so far on 2 hits. And that brings up Michael Johnson, the third baseman. And I think some of the talk in between games with Coach Walth, the initial prognosis is a pulled hamstring by Pepe Marquez, so he's going to be sitting for a couple weeks for sure, depending on how bad that hamstring is. Sean Goodall missed about 3 weeks of play for the Panthers earlier due to a hamstring. He is back to, I think, full potential now, not having to baby that at all, but Pepe Marquez is going to be down for a while. They won't know probably for a day or two how bad that is, as Michael Johnson takes first on a hit by pitch. That is why Colton Bennett is playing at second base, because Pepe is going to be sidelined for a while. And that's going to bring up Sean Goodall, the left fielder. Check swing there is going to be grounded over to the pitcher. Pitcher throws over to first, and they're going to get the force at first. Johnson able to advance over to second, but Bach has to hold at third. So runners now at the corners with 2 outs. And that's going to bring up Jordan Pella, the right fielder. Takes the first pitch, called strike. And this is going to be a ball hit right through the 5-6 hole, and that's going to be 1 RBI, 2 RBIs as Johnson flies around third home. So 2 RBI single with 2 outs for Jordan Pella. And that's going to put 5 on the board for the Panthers. And that's going to bring up Colton Bennett, the second baseman, in the 9 spot. Colton Bennett watches 2 pitches go by. Strike 2, swings at one of them. Watches that one go by. So I guess it was not 2 strikes. They just had 2 strikes up there. Now they have 3 strikes up there. But obviously, I'd only seen 1 pitch, but I thought, well, that's kind of interesting. It's 0-2. So now it's 0-2. Swings at the 3rd pitch, and he's going to hit a grounder over to the second baseman who's playing deep. And that's going to be a 4-3 ground out to end the inning. But the Panthers score 5 in the bottom of the 1st inning on 3 hits. There was 1 error and 1 runner left on base. So into the top of the 2nd inning, you'll have your 5, 6, and 7 hitters for the Chargers in Wilson, Hernandez, and Aminta. All right, missed a little bit there. A bloop single into right center field. Gets Wilson on base with no outs here. And that brings up Hernandez, the right fielder. First pitch he sees, he's going to foul off into the parking lot. Hernandez was 2 for 3 in game 1. Swings and fouls that one off as well for strike number 2. That pitch just misses low for ball 1. Trying to give him chase after that one. Ball 2. Two pitch here is going to be a fastball that hits part of the plate for called strike 3. And that's going to be Rudy Perez's first strikeout of the afternoon, out number 1 here in the second inning. And that's going to bring up Brandon Amenta. Amenta was 0 for 3 in game 1 of today's doubleheader. Hit and run going there, and that's going to be a hard hit grounder right down the first base line. Bueno tries to make the grab there, unable to stop it, knock it down as it bounces off of his glove into the rest of the infield. So an infield single, and with that hit and run, the runner from first is going to turn and make it all the way to third. So runners on the corners here for the Chargers with 1 out, and that's going to bring up Alex Colgrove. Rudy Perez has only pitched 8 2/3 inning on the year with a balmy 8.3 ERA. Throws over to check the runner at first. Deep, hard hit ball into right field. Right on the foul line. Pella is going to reach and make the grab there, and that is going to score the runner from third. So a sac fly credited to Colgrove is going to get 1 run across for the Chargers here in the second inning. Not sure if that was going to end up landing on the fair side or the foul side, so pretty close there. Pella decides to take it and sacrifice the 1 run from third for out number 2. So a runner at first, 2 down. Brody Pitkin, the catcher, now batting. Strike, outside part of the plate. Count now 1-1. Throw over to first, almost gets Amenta sleeping over there, but he's going to be just safe. Pitch just misses for ball 2. So 2-1 now the count. Both teams batting exactly 429 so far in the ball game. Both have one stolen base credited to them. Hard hit ball, hit right at Bueno. He's able to get that. Drops it. Tags the base without it, the ball, then picks it up, tags the base again. 3 or 4 times is the charm, and that's going to be out number 3 for the Panthers. But the Chargers do get one back in the second inning. Panthers cling to a 5-1 lead going into the bottom of the second inning. Rudy Perez leading things off here again in the second inning after he did in the first inning. Reached on an error as a hard hit ball down the third base line. Going to do the exact same thing there, but that's 2 feet foul. But he's out in front on the first pitch he sees. Next pitch, he waits a little bit, and he's going to hit a hard hit ball into left center field. That's going to bounce up against the fence. That's going to be a stand-up double without a doubt for Rudy Perez. And the Panthers, again, have a runner on second base with no outs to start off the inning. Anthony Enriquez now into the batter's box. The lefty drew a walk in the first inning. One pitch here to Enriquez after fouling that last pitch off. Off speed in the dirt for ball 2. That pitch is in the dirt Rudy steals third once again, and the bad throw by the catcher is going to round Rudy on the home to get that run back the Panthers gave up in the top of the second inning. So, again, Perez just lethal on the bases as he gets a huge jump on the swing and miss by Enriquez. Surprised they even threw over to third with such a big jump. And then a single on a 2-2 pitch by Enriquez up the middle. So I guess either way, whether that throw is out into left field, Rudy's going to score on the next one. The only problem is Enriquez doesn't get credited with the RBI. So the Panthers, a runner on first, no outs. One run is already scored, and Ivan Perez steps into the batter's box and back out as the catcher goes out to talk to the pitcher. They do have some action in the bullpen for the Chargers. Home plate umpire is going to go out and tell the catcher to hurry it on up. And that's going to be it for Wesselman. Kind of a strange, I guess, delay tactic there as the catcher goes out to the mound without the coach from Briar Cliff, and then right when he gets back into his stance behind home plate, the coach comes out to do a switch, and it looks like number 40 is going to get the call on the mound here for the Chargers. We'll take a quick timeout while he's getting himself warm. Ward is the pitcher on the mound. Eric Ward, 13.5 ERA. First pitch that Perez sees, fouls that one off. He has appeared in 4 2/3 innings, giving up 5 hits and 7 runs, 5 walks and 5 strikeouts. So he averages just over 1 walk and 1 strikeout per inning pitched. Pitch misses for ball 1. Going to jam him on that one, but he's going to hit that just over the third baseman's jumping glove His glove actually didn't jump. He jumped, but his glove was up in the air. That's going to put runners on first and second. Still no outs here in the second inning. And that's going to bring up Garrett Ankdale. Ankdale 0-1. Oh, 1 pitch here to Ankdale. Ankdale is single to left. Got 2 RBIs out of that single last time. Ward going to try and look Enriquez back to second, so he steps off the plate. Swing and a miss on that ball in the dirt for strike 2. Well out of the strike zone, but Ankdale chases after that one. Way out in front of that pitch for strike 3, so that's going to be out number 1 here. And that's going to bring up first baseman Jose Bueno. Bueno 0 for 1 in the ball game. Runner still at first and second, only 1 out. First pitch he sees, he's going to foul down the left field line over into the Panther bullpen. Hit by pitch for Bueno will load the bases once again. The Panthers loaded the bases in the bottom of the first inning as well. And that's going to bring up the third baseman, Michael Johnson, who I believe was hit by a pitch in the first inning. Johnson facing a new pitcher, though, for the first time in the ball game. Fastball down the middle takes it for strike 1. And that pitch is going to be well out of the strike zone. The catcher dives to try and catch that one, cannot. And as that is back against the backstop, so that's going to advance each runner 90 feet. Score the second run of the inning. Right? The second run? Scoreboard shows 3 runs, but second run of the inning. 7-1. So score 7-1, and that'll bring up Sean Goodall. Hard hit ball by Sean Goodall. Mike Johnson. That's right. He didn't advance on that wild pitch. Hard hit ball by Mike Johnson, about a foot foul of the left field home run foul pole, 5 feet beyond the fence. For strike 2. So 1-2 the count. Hard chopper over to the second baseman, throws over to first for out number 2, but the Panthers score Perez from third. Bueno advances to third. So the Panthers get another run across, and now 2 outs. And that brings up Sean Goodall, the left fielder. Goodall is 0 for 1 on the afternoon. Pitch is up for ball 1. Hard hit ball grounded right at the pitcher. The pitcher does a great job knocking that down. He's going to throw it over in time, so that's 3 outs. But the Panthers get 3 in the bottom of the second inning to extend their lead 8-1. All right, I apologize for being off the air for a little bit there, but got things squared away. If you're following along, hopefully you saw that Pella drew a 4-pitch walk, and then Colton Bennett hit a hard hit ball into right field that allowed Pella to advance all the way to third. So runners on the corner, first and third. Rudy Perez up for the Panthers, swings at 2 of the 3 pitches, so his count is now 1-2, top of the batting order. Perez did double to left center his last time at bat. Looking to see if he can get on safely again as he reached on an error in the first inning. And he's going to hit one into left center field again. I'm not sure. Looked like he had a pretty good swing on that, but it must have hit the end of the bat as that barely made it out of the infield. Just out. It looked like the shortstop kind of gave up on that. Must have been hard hit by him, but that is going to score Pella from third and put Perez on base for the 3rd time today. So now runners at first and second, and that's going to bring up Anthony Enriquez. Pitching change for the Chargers puts Moeller on the mound. The first pitch he throws to Enriquez is going to be blooped over the shortstop in center field. And that's going to score Bennett from second and put runners at first and second again. Them. So Rudy Perez has a courtesy runner on second base now. It's going to be Dylan Roller, as Ivan Perez fouls that one just out of the reach of the third baseman and the left fielder in foul territory for strike 2. Score is 10-1. Again, Moeller, first pitch, Enriquez bloops over the shortstop's head into center field for an RBI single. Next pitch, this is going to be fly out into right center field. All the runners hold on that. Is a catch by Wilson. And that's going to bring up Garrett Ankdill. Ankdill 1 for 2 with 2 RBIs. There's now 1 out for the Panthers here in the bottom of the third inning. Swing and a miss on that one. Big swing and a miss by Ankdill. Oh, 1 pitch. Sits on that, fouls out just over the backstop into the bleachers for strike 2. We do have a few Panther fans in the stands, quite a few students enjoying the day off today after a long weekend of Panther days. Administration gave off Monday, at least partially day off. Softball's on the road, baseball's playing, just no classes. Hard hit ball, grounder to second base. Going to be thrown out at first, but advance the runners to second and third. Now 2 outs here in the third inning. A day that just yesterday was forecast to be about 72, 73 degrees, partly sunny, turned into about 55, 58 degrees and rainy. Thought this game was going to get delayed a little bit due to the rain, but they got the field tarp just in time to allow the 2 o'clock start of today's doubleheader. Jose Bueno I apologize. Jordan Suter came in last inning. He is now batting, and he gets hit by a pitch to load the bases. Brings up Mike Johnson, who is 0 for 1 with 1 RBI and a run scored. Fastball misses low and away for ball 1. The ERA of Moeller looks pretty fantastic, 1.26 in 14 innings, so very effective pitcher, but so far only recorded 1 out, allowing 2 runners to get on base. Johnson ahead in the count 2-0. Pitch is high for ball 3. So 3-0 the count. Bases are loaded. So another ball will give an RBI to Johnson without having to swing the bat. Takes that one for strike 1. Big swing and a miss there for strike 2. Fills the count to 3-2 for Johnson. There are 2 outs, bases loaded, so look for each runner to start movement on this pitch. And that's going to be ball 4. Each runner advances 90 feet, and that's going to put Roller across home plate. Extend the ball game 11-1 now the score. And we'll bring up Sean Goodall, I believe. Goodall 0 for 2 so far on the afternoon. First pitch he sees, he's going to bloop into right field. It's about 6 to 8 inches foul. You had your first baseman, your second baseman, and your right fielder all going for that at the same time. All the runners retreat back to their original base, and it's strike 1. Fouled that ball off for strike 2. So Goodall finds himself in a tough situation as he's grounded out to the pitcher both plate appearances in this ball game. That pitch is in the dirt. Great job by Pitkin to keep that in front of him as it's about 4 feet in front of home plate, as it skips into the stomach of the catcher Pitkin. Goodall batting just .217 on the year, 1 home run and 5 RBIs. Pitch is well out of the strike zone for ball 1, trying to get him to chase at something. He's going to pop this one up right around home plate. The pitcher calls off the catcher. And that's going to be out number 3, but the Panthers score 3 runs here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. And it's 11-1 ball game going into the top of the 4th. Rudy Perez back on the mound for the Panthers here to start off the 4th inning defensively. Offensively for the Charger, Erickson 1 for 1 in the ball game with a walk and a single up the middle. Watches the first pitch for ball 1. Swing and a miss there, so 2-1 now the count. Fouls that one off. Evens the count at 2-2. Panthers 11 runs on 9 hits, no errors, 5 runners stranded. Chargers have 1 run on 3 hits, 2 errors, and 2 runners have been stranded. Fastball down the middle, and that's going to be lined out to the second baseman, Bennett, for out number 1. So nice grab there by Bennett. Right place at the right time. And that's going to bring up Darrell Wilson, the center fielder. Wilson not batting. It's actually Nielsen. Finds himself even at 1-1. He is pinch hitting for the center fielder, Wilson. Swing and a miss for strike 2. And the Chargers look like they're starting to get some more action in the bullpen. Pitch is low for ball 2. Contact on this one's going to be hit down the right field line. That is going to bounce fair. Pella picks that one up on the line. That's going to be a stand-up double for the pinch hitter Nielsen. Nielsen is batting .400 on the season. Only 1 RBI. But he's going to get on with a stand-up double to lead off the 4th inning for the Chargers. Ankdale's going to go out onto the mound and talk to Perez as Hernandez now batting for the Chargers. Pitch inside on the plate for strike 1. Swing and a miss for strike number 2. He did strike out looking in the 2nd inning. Chop that one into fair territory. They're going to take the fielder's choice over to third. A little late was Ankdale on that one for a tough one, and he is not in time. So they're going to have runners on the corners with just 1 out instead of taking the for sure out at first. So a tough play to make there by Ankdale, but he tries it, puts the runners on the corners. Fastball low for ball 1. And this is Brandon. No. Amenta hits a single through the hole between first and second. An RBI single, going to put runners at first and second with 1 out. Chargers get 1 back here in the 4th inning. Called strike on the pitch to Colgrove. Pitch is high for ball one. Hard hit ball is second base deep. Trying for the double play, and they do get the 4-6-3 double play to end the inning, but the Chargers do score one in the top of the fourth inning to cut the lead 11-2. Be back with you in the bottom half of the inning for Pella, Bennett, and Perez. apologize for going off the air for a little bit there. We were trying to figure out, they are basically a whole new field for Briar Cliff. Not sure who went in for who or where, as positions were switched. People that pinch hit for other people, both of them are still in the game, so we're trying to figure out what the lineup looks like. But at the same time, we've had a pitching change just now. Bases are loaded with one out. And so your stats are going to be off for a little bit as we enter that information in. Hard hit grounder over to the second baseman. It looks like it's going to be trouble there. Panthers unable to get a run across with bases loaded as a 4-6-3 double play is going to end the fourth inning. Going into the top of the fifth, you will have Pitkin. No, I don't know. Yeah, you definitely will have Pitkin, but that's the only one we know of for sure that we're going to have. So we'll be back with you to figure out what the lineup's going to look like for the Chargers. First pitch to Pitkin. He's going to ground over to the shortstop Enriquez, who makes a nice grab, throws over to first for the first out. And that's going to bring up someone. The shortstop, number 20. Hard hit ball into center field by the shortstop, number 20. And that's going to bring up Hancock's Jr., who was in left field but is now the center fielder.